Planning a trip to Disneyland? Okay, let's be real. One of the biggest and maybe most stressful decisions you'll make is where to stay. With so many hotels to choose from, it can be totally overwhelming. So today, we're going to try and make that choice just a little bit easier for you. Welcome to Disneyland Hotel Diaries. This is our series where we break down the good, the bad, and everything in between to help you find the perfect home base for your trip. And today, we are diving deep into a super popular option for anyone who wants to be as close to the magic as possible, the Anaheim Del Sol Inn. So let's get into it. Okay, so the Del Sol Inn has got one of the absolute best locations on Harbor Boulevard, period. But as we all know, location isn't everything. So the big question we're asking today is, does the rest of the experience actually live up to its prime real estate? Is it the right spot for you? All right, first up, let's talk about the number one reason people book this hotel, the location. And for a Disneyland trip, this can literally make or break your vacation. I mean, it saves you time, energy, and let's be honest, a whole lot of sanity. And wow, the hotel's biggest selling point is right here. It has a Great for Walkers score of 94 out of 100. That is an elite top-tier score. It basically means you can forget about waiting for shuttles, calling Ubers, or making that long, painful trek back to a distant parking garage at the end of the night. So what does a 94 score actually feel like? Well, one traveler, Brian, said it's less than a 10-minute walk to the security entrance. That's about as close as you can possibly get without staying in one of the official and much pricier Disney-owned hotels. That means popping back to the room for a midday nap or a quick swim is actually genuinely easy to do. And you know, the convenience doesn't just stop at the park entrance. The hotel's kind of tucked away behind a Denny's, which is actually great because it shields it from a lot of the noise of Harbor Boulevard. Plus, you are surrounded by food options. Within just a few blocks, you've got everything from affordable Mexican food at Sabrasada to a nice sit-down meal at Mimi's Cafe or a quick slice at the Pizza Press. Okay, so the location is an undeniable slam dunk win. But what about the rooms? You know, the place you'll actually crash after walking 20,000 steps in the park. Let's see if the inside matches the convenience of the outside. So the standard rooms, look, they're pretty much what you'd expect from a budget-friendly motel that's all about park-goers. They're described as clean and comfortable, a simple place to sleep and recharge. You get the essentials like a flat-screen TV and air conditioning, which, let's be honest, is really all you need when the main attraction is right across the street. Now this is a huge perk, especially for families or bigger groups. They have these family rooms with 2 queen beds plus a bunk bed. I mean, one traveler, Marisol L., mentioned her party of 7, with 5 kids, stayed comfortably in one of these rooms. That is an incredibly affordable way to keep the whole crew together right near the park. Hey, just gonna jump in for a second. If you're finding this deep dive helpful for your Disney planning, could you do us a huge favor and hit that like button and subscribe? It really helps our channel create more explainers just like this one. Thanks a bunch. All right, now for what might be the most critical part of any review. This is where the rubber meets the road. Every hotel has its trade-offs, right? So let's get into the perks versus the quirks and lay out the best parts right alongside the potential deal breakers. Okay, so let's break this down. On the one hand, the perks are so clear. That incredible location, a free breakfast that saves you money, and those awesome family suites. But on the other hand, the quirks, they're pretty significant. You're dealing with mandatory paid valet parking, the potential for noise, some really mixed reviews on the staff, and yeah, even some mentions of a cannabis smell. Let's dig into a couple of these because they're important. So let's talk about that parking situation, because this is a big one. As Brian's review points out, this isn't some optional fancy valet for your convenience. Nope, it's required because the parking lot is just way too small. He warns that getting your car can be a process. So really, this hotel is best for people who plan to park their car once and then walk everywhere. But we also have to look at the other side of the coin here. We have to be fair. Kelly E. noted that there was a persistent smell of cannabis during her stay, and she felt the staff was nonchalant, or basically indifferent when she brought up her concerns. This is a good reminder that while a lot of people have perfectly fine stays, service can be a bit of a mixed bag, and sometimes other guests can impact your vacation. Okay, so we've covered the amazing location, the rooms, and the major pros and cons. Let's bring it all home and really figure out if the Anaheim Del Sol Inn is the right choice for your next Disney vacation. So at the end of the day, who's the ideal guest for this motel? Let's break down who is absolutely going to love this place and who should probably keep on looking. Look, this hotel is going to be a home run for you if your absolute number one top priority is being able to walk to the parks. It's for the person who just needs a clean, safe place to crash at night. If you're a family that needs a bunk bed suite without that Disney resort price tag, or if that free breakfast really helps your budget, then this is a fantastic option. Basically, if you see your hotel as just a base camp for your Disney adventure, this is it. And hey, if you do decide to book, here are a few pro tips pulled directly from traveler reviews to make your stay even better. First, try to get an upstairs room. As Marisol noted, you can hear people walking by pretty early in the morning if you're on the lower level. Second, if you're a light sleeper, maybe bring a white noise machine just in case. And third, fully commit to being a walker. It'll save you any potential frustration with the valet process. So it really all boils down to this one question. For your trip, is having that incredible sub 10-minute walk and a free breakfast every morning worth the trade-off of a basic no-frills room and having to deal with mandatory valet parking? Well, that's something only you can answer. Thanks for joining us for this explainer.